Hello everyone, I am David. Today I am going to interview the famous ancient Greek philosopher, Aristotle. Can you please introduce yourself, Aristotle?
Hello, I am Aristotle. I am an ancient Greek philosopher and polymath, born in 384 BC in the city of Stagirus. My father, Nicomachus, was the court physician to King Amantas I of Macedon. He was a student of Plato and a teacher to Alexander the Great.
So you are a student of the great philosopher Plato and a teacher of Alexander the Great. Can you describe the process?
When I was 18, I went to study with Plato in Athens for 20 years. I left Athens shortly after Plato's death. In 343 BC, he was invited by King Philip I of Macedon to become the tutor to his son Alexander. When Alexander became king, he returned to Athens and started a school called the Lyceum in 335 BC. He had a habit of walking while lecturing, so my school also called Peripatetic School.
I heard you and your teacher had different ideas. How were they different?
Plato thought true reality is in the world of ideas, beyond what we see and see or touch. He believed knowledge should be based on real-life facts, not just theories. My medical training taught me to rely on what we see and observe. He used induction from examples alongside deduction, whereas Plato relies on deduction from a priori principles.
I'm curious about the term metaphysics. Can you explain it?
Metaphysics is the name given by later generations, and I define it as the knowledge of immaterial existence or the highest degree of abstract existence. I call metaphysics and theology together first philosophy. I believe that the substance of a given thing comes from the combination of form and matter.
I know your scope of study is broad. Can you summarize it?
In logic, he created a system called syllogistic logic, which helps with logical thinking. In metaphysics, he talked about what things are made of and what defines their existence. He also talked about virtues in ethics, which are good qualities we should have. When it comes to politics, he wrote about the best kind of government and how it should benefit everyone. In biology, he studied plants and animals and how they are classified and how they grow. In physics, he talked about how things move and why, and about the universe. In aesthetics, he explored what makes things beautiful and talked about art and literature. In rhetoric, he wrote about how to communicate well and persuade others.
Why have some of your theories been proven wrong?
My mistakes mainly come from the lack of concepts such as mass, speed, strength and temperature. Moreover, the level of science and technology is insufficient and there is a lack of empirical tools. Some of my theories lack experimental proof and mathematical theory. Theory alone is often not enough based on experience and observation.
I see, but don't be discouraged. Despite some of your theories being disproven by later scientific discoveries, your contributions to scientific research methods and ways of thinking are still widely recognized. Finally, what do you think has been your most significant contribution to future generations?
I believe it is the scientific method of analysis, which can be applied to multiple fields of study. I break fields of knowledge into categories and subcategories such as psychology, biology, politics, logic, chemistry, and botany.
Thank you very much and thank you all for watching. See you next time.